हे तूने कसम ली ली, नहीं होंगे जुदा हम, हे मैंने कसम ली. ओके, आज के इस वीडियो में, एंड दिस इज गोइंग टू बी बाय फार the most important video, I'm going to discuss the specimen paper, and through the specimen paper tell you important things as far as attempting the English language paper for ISC class 12 is concerned. Okay, I'll do a similar video for ICSE, but many of the points will also be useful for ICSE class 10 students also. 80 marks, but unlike ICSE class 10, this is a 3 hour long paper, right? ये सब तो आपको मालूम है. 15 मिनट पहले आपको पेपर मिल जाएगा जिसमें आप देख सकते हैं, और उसके बाद आपको 2 बजे एग्जाम लिखना शुरू करना है. Attempt all 4 questions. The first one is the essay composition. The second one is the speech, etc. and proposal writing. The third one is grammar, and the fourth one is the comprehension. Okay, so isme in fact they have already given, and that's precisely the time management strategy I had also worked out. Okay, and I'll come to the time management strategy later on. Okay, now it's a little different from what has been suggested here. Now I hope you can see the font size. Yeah, it's pretty clear, right? Now the first question is about the essay. Okay, let's go through it one by one. First of all, आपको essay में किस बात पर ध्यान देने की जरूरत है? What do you need to pay attention to as far as the composition is concerned? Okay, remember it is 400 to 450 words. In ICSE class 10, it was 300 to 350 words, right? When you did 2 years ago. Now it is 400 to 450 words, which means you need to write 100 to 150 words more than what you used to write earlier in class 10. In the essay, there are 3 things which are paid on, to which the examiner will pay a lot of attention: your spellings, your punctuation, and the grammar. Okay, these things are non-negotiable. Iske alawa, of course, your content and the way you express, the language you use, the beauty of the language you use will fetch you marks. So these are the 5 things which matter. I repeat: spelling, punctuation, grammar, content, and expression. Okay, now first, let's come to the narrative essay, the descriptive essay. Okay, let me just, the descriptive essay. Basically, and each one of my kya points hai main bataunga. Descriptive mein, like for instance, this is the descriptive essay topic which has been given in your specimen paper. Last year, you visited your grandparents. There, you participated in a local festival. Describe the way people were dressed, the different cultural events, and the food sold in the stalls. What were your feelings as you returned from the festivities? The first thing that you need to do during the 15 minutes is to break it down. कि क्या-क्या elements के बारे में मेरे को लिखना है. Okay, that you visited your grandparents. Okay, you visited your grandparents is an important element. So you need to first start by establishing that. Okay, that you visited your grandparents. So this is an important element there. Then the next thing is the participation in a local festival. Okay, that's important. If you are giving the vernacular name, the regional name of a local festival, ensure that it is put in single quotes. Okay, then you have been asked to describe the way people were dressed, the sense of the sight, you will be able to see that. The different cultural events, if there is music, if there is dance, and etc., you will describe all that. Then the food which has been sold in these stalls. The food ka matlab, you will be able to talk about the taste, you will be able to talk about the smell, you will be even able to talk about, the oil which is used and the things being, tal rahe hain, uska, the thing, the savories being prepared, all that you will be able to describe. Then you need to talk about what were your feelings, what did it evoke in you. You felt happy, you felt exhilarated, you felt transported into another world, you felt like blessed to be there, all those kind of feelings as you return from the festivities after your visit to your grandparents' home is over. So ideally speaking, you should locate it in preferably a village or a semi-rural, semi-urban kind of a place, so that you're able to give a feel, a non-urban feel to it, right? Because it will give you more elements, right? also geographically place it. Don't just say I went to my grandfather's or grandparents village. Locate it in a particular setting. You locate it in a particular setting. In fact, for ICSC class 10 we had done an essay, which I have, like, I write many of the essays myself, so we had also written about how you attended a wedding in a village atmosphere. Describe how it was different from the village marriage which gets conducted in an urban environment. How was it different? What did you feel like? Describe what all happened, right? So this is something, I mean, I would exactly similar name, but the setting is kind of similar, right? So you need to talk about that. Also remember that do not start this kind of an essay shuru se, you spend about 50 words trying to explain about how you convinced your parents that I want to visit my grandparents, and then you took a bus and then it landed at the bus station, or you took a train and it landed at the, reached the railway station. Un sab mein time mat lagao. You can talk about visited your grandparents. So this is something, and they've also given a time frame of last year, right? So you get into the topic straight. Don't introduce, once you have identified these are the elements on which my 400 to 450 words should be there, then you focus on writing most of your 400 to 450 words on this. That is what you need to do. 450 can become 460, ideally not more than that, right? So keep it within that range. Don't go over, and definitely don't write under. If you write under, you get penalized much more than when you write over, right? दोनों तरफ होता है, but under के लिए तो definitely penalization होगा. Now you may think कि क्या वो count करते हैं? They will count one line. If they suspect that it is shorter or longer, they will count one line and they will have an idea about how many lines you have written, and they will do a rough calculation, right? So they will not say कि okay इसने 453 words लिखे हैं, पता नहीं चलेगा, but they will have an idea, okay ये 440 है या 480 है, पता चल जाएगा उसमें. Okay, so that's how the calculation is done. So as I said, the food part, the smell, the sight, the sound, the taste, everything, the songs, the music, the dance, what you're seeing, what people were wearing, etc. So while you are describing it, and listen to this carefully, जब आप इस किसी चीज को describe कर रहे हैं, it should have the quality, your content and the language you use, the words you use, the vocabulary you use should have the quality to transport the examiner from the hall where he's checking the papers, he or she is checking the papers, to that place what you are describing. उतनी अच्छी क्वालिटी होनी चाहिए. If you are attempting a descriptive essay, ensure that you have the power of the language. That's very important. Of all the essays, I always say descriptive is the toughest because you need to have better powers of expression. तो अगर वो नहीं है, अगर आपकी ग्रामर गुजरात के बजाय आसाम जाती है, राइट, या कन्याकुमारी के बजाय श्रीनगर जाती है, तो प्रॉब्लम है. Okay, then you should not attempt descriptive, definitely. Okay, so that is something very important. My advice to you would be avoid writing long sentences. Avoid, which you keep elongating using and but and yet and still kind of a thing. Avoid that. Short sentences which have good impact. Avoid starting sentences with because, also, not very desirable. Okay, so that's something which you need to do. See, always remember that every sentence should be like, you are putting an extra piece of jewelry on someone to make that person look that much more beautiful, right? That's what, especially in a descriptive essay, that kind of a quality should be there to your essay. In this particular case, you are the protagonist. You visited. So your emotions, your feelings matter a lot. Okay. So if your vocabulary, as I said, is bad and you still attempt a descriptive essay, what you could possibly do is that मैं 5-6 words हर emotion के लिए choose कर लेता हूं, so that you don't keep repeating the same adjectives, right? So feeling happy के लिए ये 6 words, feeling sad के लिए ये 6 words, feeling angry के लिए ये 6 words, right? Feeling surprised or shocked के लिए ये 6 words, so that you have a list of words which you think that okay, ये सारे words मैं इस तरह के essay में use कर सकता हूं. That is one strategy that I would suggest you could possibly look at, those of you who are looking to attempt a descriptive essay. Don't think that कुछ भी लिखूंगा marks आ जाएंगे. Marks नहीं आएंगे. Marks नहीं आएंगे. Composition में essays are checked in a strict manner. ये नहीं कि कुछ भी लिख के आ जाओ marks मिल जाएंगे. It will not happen. It does not happen. Okay. And always writing is very important. You need to keep this machine of your mind oiled, right? I've seen many of my own students who write 2-3 essays and then they don't write for many months and then say मैंने practice किया था, I joined your course but I have not improved in marks. It's like saying कि मैंने gym join किया था but मैंने कुछ भी किया नहीं but मेरा weight reduce नहीं हुआ or I have not become more fit. It does not work that way. You have to put in that effort, especially when it comes to writing. When it comes to writing, you need to ensure that your word flow is smoother, and that will happen only with more and more practice. It's the same funda. Okay. I hope the descriptive is clear. Let's now move to the narrative. While you were at home during the lockdown, again, you see this one is positioned last year. This one is positioned during the lockdown, which means again, you're talking about the past. लॉकडाउन 2022 में तो नहीं हुआ था, 21 में हुआ था, राइट? 20 और 21 में हुआ था. So you will have to position your essay in that period. So please ensure that you get that timeline correct. Okay. Due to the pandemic, an exciting event took place that turned you into a local hero. Narrate the incident. Now, again, इसमें मैं बोलूंगा narrative essays के लिए have a list of about 8 to 10 essays and think of those points. Think of the storyline. Like this one that turned you into a local hero. So something heroic that you did, okay, or something funny which happened, or something tragic which happened, or something which took you by surprise, right? Or something which happened which was completely unexpected, or something in which you were blamed for no fault of yours, right? Or an incident where you chose to lie in order to get out of a difficult situation. Now, I have given you randomly, I've given you about 7 topics, right? So you think of different topics ताकि उस समय पर बैठ के आप स्टोरी नहीं सोच रहे हैं. उससे पहले ही अगर आपके माइंड में ये है, okay, 7 topics, and I'm sure you can think of 10 more topics like this. You make your basic storyline in your mind so that उस time पे you will be able to save those 5 to 10 minutes and instead of thinking at that moment. You can always tweak, okay, basic material है तो उसके साथ you can kind of create your own form depending on कि question exactly क्या है. So that is something which you could do as far as the narrative is concerned. Another suggestion I would give is that do not introduce too many characters. 3 major characters I think is fine. 3 major characters, maybe 1 minor character, so that you focus on the characters, their interpersonal connections, relationships. उसके साथ you can actually create the drama. If you have about 8 people coming in to the story, the examiner will get confused. So keep 3 characters, keep it simple. It's always better. Okay. That's as far as the narrative was concerned. Let's come to the argumentative. The argumentative one, this one is advertisements should only present the truth, argue for or against. Okay. Now, always in argumentative, take one stand. ये भी मत बोलो, ये भी मत बोलो. It's a complete no-no. You cannot say both for and against. You don't need to rubbish the other point of view only. You talk about what is good for you. That's what I always say. अपने में क्या अच्छाई है उसके बारे में मत बोलो, दूसरों के बारे में बुराई मत बोलो, जैसे यहां पर कुछ महानुभाव हमेशा करते रहते हैं. Don't do that. Okay. So do not sit on the fence and do not present both sides of the fence. Okay. Again, I don't know how much time you have, but it's always better to go with many topics, okay, points ready so that you don't have to think. Advertisements kind of thing is a very common topic which comes, related to health, education, environment, pollution, social issues, right? Technology. There are some proverbs which you can kind of use. Of course, इसमें अलग से आता है. So those are some of the topics on which you kind of prepare the thing so that again आपको सोचना नहीं पड़ेगा. So depending on which format of the composition you plan to attempt, prepare the material so that it will be easy for you. Okay. Now, as far as 4th and 5th are concerned, I would suggest that only if you have fantastic powers of articulation, expression, attempt 4 and 5. Otherwise, steer clear of 4 and 5. This is dangerous territory. अगर आपकी लैंग्वेज स्किल्स इतनी अच्छी नहीं है, बिकॉज इसमें आपको पहले तो ये याद होना चाहिए कि ये महात्मा गांधी को क्रेडिटेड है, ये पर्टिकुलर कोट. Be the change you want to see, right? And only then you can take on from there and talk about why Mahatma Gandhi said that, in what context, and what did he mean by it, and what are the implications of a quote like this, and how does it work in a situation like this. Present your reflections on the statement. It is your opinion. It's an opinion piece. It's almost like an editorial, which is why I always tell students to read the newspaper editorials, because you get an idea about how to present a point of view, right? अगर आप 12th class के level पर भी newspapers नहीं पढ़ते हैं, then there is a serious problem. Okay, that's what this one will attempt. So if you are not very good at articulating a particular position in 400 odd words, I would not advise you to attempt this. The last one, of course, is the original story. Okay, are you creative? And the rules are the same as in the narrative essay. Engaging opening, humor, funny part, witty part, right? Or suspense, or a twist in the tale, right? And an ending which leaves the examiner saying, "Ah, मजा आया पढ़ने में," right? ऐसे कुछ stories होती हैं, you know. Last year I used to have a student called Sam. He used to write fantastic stories, you know. So there are some students who do that. This year I have a student called Payal Sharma who writes very good stories. Ashima, they write very good stories. So, you know, story पढ़ने में भी मजा आता है. You almost waiting कि ending में क्या twist है, right? That's what you would want in an original story. So it should start with this. That's what it says. It begins with the following words, and then you need to weave it in. Now it does not. It's not necessary. इसमें आपको quotes use करने पड़ेंगे, right? इसमें आपको title भी देना पड़ेगा. But it's not necessary that you are a character, because what happens is that when you are a character, you may not know much about the other characters. But when you are a third person, you can actually know about all the characters, and it gives you more scope to write and imagine much more. So I would always suggest that don't be in a hurry. Don't have that thing कि मेरे को भी इसके अंदर एक character बनना है. उसकी जरूरत हमेशा नहीं पड़ती है. Okay, so I hope the essay part of it is clear. Question number 2. Now, you are the head boy, head girl of the XYZ school. This is important. You need to name the school in what you are writing. And you have been asked to give a speech at the morning assembly on the topic waste not, want not. Use the following guidelines to write the speech, and these are the material points which have been given. So how do you write that? Okay, this is the assembly speech. You don't need to give a heading. Okay, for statement of purpose also, you don't need to give a heading. Good morning, respected principal, teachers, and my dear fellow students of the XYZ school, right? Since they have specifically mentioned the school name, right? This is how. I am so and so, apna naam likhiye, and today I will speak about, and you write the topic and use all the elements from the question and weave it around them. So जितने भी हैं roughly 200 to 225 words के around आप लिख सकते हैं, right? हालांकि इसमें कोई word limit नहीं दिया गया है, right? But that's approximately the length. So you will talk about, you know, the importance of resources, the importance of, you know, that you should not be wasting a lot of material which you have learned in the waste management chapters in the past. You can use it there. Careful use of food, careful use of money, that you don't kind of spend money like that carelessly. Food ko waste nahi karna. If you have food which is left over, you give it to someone who is needy. Conserving electricity, you know, ensuring that you don't put all the lights when you don't need it. If you are not in the room, you don't leave the AC on, you switch it off so that you conserve electricity, because again and again, I mean, electricity is something which all of us need. Otherwise, we will be having power cuts. Preserving the environment for the next generation. Plant more trees, ensuring that, you know, you are kind of not doing things which are anti-environment, which are environment unfriendly. So these kind of all the points should come in the speech. That's what is necessary. You can use these keywords, but essentially try to use it in your own language. The language has to be extremely formal. That's important. The language, I repeat, has to be extremely formal. It cannot be the way you are having an informal phone conversation. Yes, you can have wit and humor out there. No problem. You can have wit and humor, because when you're giving a speech, if you have some kind of funny things to say, it will make people more involved. It will make people react to what you're saying. That's fine. But the language should still be formal. Okay, because you are, where are you doing it? You're doing it in the morning assembly. Okay, so that's important. Next one, as the president of the student council of the XYZ school, you have been asked to organize a food festival. The proceeds from the sale will be donated to an animal shelter nearby. Write a proposal in not more than 150 words. So the word limit is important out here. Outlining the steps you would take to make this event a success. This is the way you need to write. Proposal writing में proposal to organize a food festival at the XYZ school. You first write the heading where you write 2 points about how the food festival will be relevant. Why is it important? How it would be useful in paragraph form, not in point form. Okay. Then you write the objectives. What are the objectives of organizing this food festival? What will be achieved by organizing the food festival? 2 points again in paragraph form. Okay. Then you will write a list of measures. How will the food festival be organized? Okay, you need to, it could be a food festival, it could be a books fair, it could be a science fair, right? It could be a yoga competition or a yoga event, whatever, right? So you need to think, how will the particular event be organized? What steps and procedure need to be followed, right? 4 points in bullet form. So there is no need to mention the budget. So you'll write 4 points in bullet form like this. So you could talk about in the food festival, hygiene will be taken care of. This is where we will be organizing the food from, right? So different points which you think in that particular question, which will be useful. These will be the different kinds of stalls, Indian, Chinese, North Indian, South Indian, whatever kind of food, etc. So whatever those kind of things, what will be the highlights, etc. that you can mention, right? In conclusion, you will write that we hope that this proposal will be accepted and the food festival will benefit both the patrons and the animals because you're doing it for a noble cause, right? I hope this is clear. Now we come to the grammar part of it. Okay. पहला वाला तो दिया हुआ है. They are repairing my piano at the moment. Do you want me to write it or should I just say it? They are repairing my piano at the moment. My piano is being repaired by them at the moment. Okay. If you do not reach the theater early, you will not get, or do you want to write it and then we will discuss it? Let me just take a 1 minute pause. You write it and then we will discuss the answers. कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे लोगों का काम है कहना छोड़ो बेकार की बातों में भीग न जाए रहना कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे चले. They are repairing my piano at the moment. My piano is being repaired by them at the moment. If you do not reach the theater early, you will not get a good seat unless you reach. There are 3 videos which have been put on transformation of sentences. Okay, they are of course with MCQs, but agar aap wo 3 videos dekhenge, there are some 75 transformation of sentences of all kinds which have been discussed in those 3 videos. Please go through those 3 videos on YouTube. आपके काफी काम आएगा. So unless उसमें सभी unless, although, as soon as, सबके we have done questions. Unless you reach the theater early, you will not get a seat. Okay. There were many obstacles, yet she succeeded in her mission. Although there were many obstacles, she succeeded in her mission. Although के साथ yet नहीं आएगा, ये गलती मत करना. Chocolate cake is the best dessert I have ever eaten. No dessert that I have eaten. No से शुरू करना है. No dessert that I have ever eaten is better than chocolate cake. Scarcely did the famous store open when they all rushed in. Always remember, scarcely के साथ when का इस्तेमाल होता है. Hardly के साथ भी when का इस्तेमाल होता है. अगर ये as soon as वाला sentence दिया हुआ था और आपसे scarcely से लिखने को कहा जाता, then you should remember, तब आप than के साथ नहीं लिख सकते. Only no sooner takes THAN. Okay. So as soon as the famous store opened, they all rushed in. The prepositions. She decided, ये आप करेंगे? She decided not to. Prepositions के there are as many as 3 videos with 150 prepositions and phrasal verbs. There are 2 videos only on phrasal verbs, also actually 8 videos. So there's a lot of material on YouTube if you want to ensure that you don't go wrong with prepositions and phrasal verbs. The teacher asked me to give away. Means give away in this particular case means to distribute the worksheets. The young man set dash his own business. The young man set up means to establish. This means to establish. The CEO set dash the rules on the very first day of the year. What he did was he kind of, this is also some way of establishing that these are the rules of the company. Pehle January 1 ko he established the rules. When his friends come home, he puts on a fake accent. That is, he tries to speak in an accent which is not his natural way of speaking, whatever language, English, Hindi, Marathi, Bengali, whatever. Do not put dash for tomorrow, what you can do today. Which means, this means she advised me not to look dash on what had already happened. Which means kind of आप जो हुआ उसके बारे में फिर से मत सोचो. Don't look back. Okay. If you look, now you see look के दो हैं. If you look dash it carefully, you can see the mark. Simple. Go the documents carefully before you sign it. The word मैंने ये एक वीडियो में भी बताया था. The word carefully is a giveaway. When you go through a document means that you are reading it very carefully. If you just go over something, which means you're just skimming the surface, you're not going through it very carefully. Okay, the last one. The price of gold is not likely to go. It can go up, it can go down. So both up and down will be acceptable out here. Okay. This one we did in the tenses wale video mein just couple of days ago. Okay, so please go through it and you can see it there. Okay, ye pura passage humne kiya, it's a very good passage. Now we come to the comprehension. Now as far as comprehension is concerned, my advice to you would be, I will tell that during the time management part of it, how you should do it, but you should kind of give it at least 3 good readings. Okay, 2 of them in the first 15 minutes of reading time itself. Now, isme one of the questions that is given is to kind of, given below are 3 words and phrases. Find the words which have a similar meaning in the passage, right? So break time, break time means that there is some kind of a break. Now in this, if you go and see in the first paragraph itself, there is a word, the girls played at recess. Recess तो हमको मालूम है, lunch time को recess बोलते हैं. So break time you need to write recess out there, right? The second question relates to prolonged quarrel or dispute. There is a word out there which is feud. It is there in the passage. You'll be able to see, right? So this is recess. Okay, feud. A feeling of being annoyed. So the word for this is vexation. ये भी passage में है. So you need to look at the words carefully. ये 3 marks वगैरह you should not lose out because ये बहुत simple है. Passage को carefully पढ़ो. कौन सा word का meaning ये वाला है and you will be able to do that. So don't make a mistake. इसमें annoyed भी हो सकता था, frustrated भी हो सकता था. Vexation का dictionary meaning. Okay. For each of the following words, write a sentence with at least 10 words using the same word unchanged in form but with a different meaning. Very interesting. Now, cross out here is used in the sense of a verb, right? That is, someone crossing the street kind of a thing. Passage में उस तरह से use किया गया है. बताओ, दिखाओ. Yeah. Sorry, it has been used in a noun kind of a thing, right? She marched into school in a very cross mood. So cross out here means that she was in a very annoyed or very angry mood. So you need to use it in a different sense. Now you cannot say, you can say that, I saw him cross the street on my way to school. That is one way when you use it as a verb, right? Let's see the instructions which are. For each of the words given below, write a sentence of at least 10 words using the same word unchanged in form, right? But with a different meaning. So it means that you cannot even probably change the way it is structured. So cross may, you can talk about the cross of Jesus Christ, right? So you could write something like, his aunt was presented with a cross made of rosewood on the occasion of Christmas, right? Now that can be a sentence. Bolt out here. Now bolt here has been used in the sense of running away or escaping, right? So you can say, now bolt you can use the way the bolt is on the door, right? So you can say that in order to safeguard the house, I ensured that the bolt on the front door was strong. Okay. School. Now this is complicated because school ka humko generally ek meaning hota hai, but a group of fish is also called a school, right? So we saw the mesmerizing sight of a school of fish at the aquarium in Singapore or in Mumbai or in Delhi, kind of thing. You could write like that. Now, as far as the comprehension and summary is concerned, basic rules that you need to bear in mind. Read the passage very carefully, at least twice during the 15 minutes, again during the 3 hours of the examination. Write the answers in your own words, but using the keywords from the passage. जो passage में important word है, जो कि उस आंसर के लिए एब्सोल्युटली इंपॉर्टेंट है, उस वर्ड को यूज कीजिए, बट बाकी अपने वर्ड्स में राइट लिखने की कोशिश कीजिए. जहां तक समरी का सवाल है, यू कैन बी अबाउट 99 वर्ड्स, बट यू कैन नॉट बी 102 or 105 वर्ड्स. दैट्स नॉट एक्सेप्टेबल. ओके, 100 वर्ड्स प्रेफरेबली, बट 99 ऑल्सो विल बी एक्सेप्टेड. समरी में व्हाट यू शुड डू इज टू फर्स्ट राइट द आंसर टू द क्वेश्चन. उसके बाद try to fit it in those 100 words. Okay, so that when you write the answer, your attempt should be to see that आपने सारे points को पूरी तरह से cover कर लिया है. That's something very important. Okay, now let me come to the time management part. Okay, time management में शुरू में आपको दिया हुआ है more or less same, but मेरे इसमें थोड़ा सा अलग है. My this thing is that अगर आपने comprehension पहले 15 मिनट में पढ़ लिया है, तो you can start attempting the comprehension first. ताकि बिकॉज उस समय पर आपके दिमाग में फ्रेश रहेगा. बाकी आप 2 घंटे बाद कॉम्प्रिहेंशन पैसेज को पढ़ेंगे, आपको एक तरह से फिर से 2 बारी और पढ़ना पड़ेगा, तो आपका टाइम और ज्यादा निकलेगा. सो माय सजेशन वुड बी दैट यू कुड एक्चुअली स्टार्ट द पेपर विद द कॉम्प्रिहेंशन पार्ट. सो कॉम्प्रिहेंशन के लिए आई वुड गिव एज मच एज 50 मिनट्स, और 50 मिनट्स में से आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट 25 plus 25, or it could be 30 plus 20 for the summary, this 25 for the summary. So between 20 and 25 for the summary, and बाकी 25 to 30 minutes for the other questions. So comprehension के लिए आप 50 मिनट दे सकते हैं. ग्रामर के लिए मुझे नहीं लगता आपको 20 मिनट से ज्यादा डिवोट करने की जरूरत पड़ेगी. I don't think you would need more than 20 minutes to write the 15 आंसर्स ऑफ द ग्रामर क्वेश्चन. सो ये दोनों पहले अटेम्प्ट कर दीजिए. ओके, ये हो गया. उसके बाद ये 50 और 20 मिनट निकल गए. देन यू कम टू द क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, विच इज A and B parts. Each one of them you try to give a proposal, 25 minutes, and speech or article writing or whatever it is, 25 minutes each. Okay, for each one of them you devote, you have the luxury of devoting 25 plus 25. So ये हो गए another 50 मिनट. So 50 plus 50 100 मिनट हो गए. 180 में से 100 मिनट उसमें निकल गए, और 15 मिनट 20 मिनट लगा लीजिए ग्रामर के लिए, यानी कि 120 मिनट. अरे भाई सॉरी, मेरा कैलकुलेशन गड़बड़ हो गया क्या? हाँ ठीक है, ओके, सॉरी 150 plus 50 100 plus 20 120. You still have 60 minutes left, right? So at around 4 o'clock you will still have your essay to write. Essay, I am giving you 45 minutes to write your essay, which means you still have 15 minutes of revision time, in which you would look at all the word meanings of comprehension. You would look at the grammar again. You would go through your essay and the proposal writing, etc. to ensure that आपने कोई grammatical या punctuation या spelling mistake नहीं की है. 15 minutes of revision time will be extremely useful. So 50 minutes of comprehension and summary, 50 minutes for proposal writing and speech writing, right? 50 minutes, 100 minutes, 120 minutes for 20 minutes for grammar, right? And 45 minutes for the essay, right? And 15 minutes for the revision. So these are the 4 parts that you need to concentrate on, and this should be largely your time management strategy. I hope this video has been useful, right? And I do hope all of you do wonders with your first examination, the English language examination. All the best to you. Thank you very much.